Hey there everybody, Eric from Bestech Knives US service. What was that? What did I just say?
Eric from Bestech Knives US service.
Yes, in fact, that's right, you have heard correctly. Recently, I took a position with Bestech Knives to be their United States service representative. And at this point, it has been a few months. Now, some of you have kind of caught on, and I've kind of led into this a little bit, but I haven't had a good chance to exactly announce it on my channel. And so this U.S. service representative position for me is definitely very cool. It's nice to be in with a company. It's nice to see the inner workings and understand how the industry continues to work and move forward and all the activity behind the scenes. But more than that, I get to interact with a lot of Bestech Knives fans and customers. So, with that said, I have a number of things to talk to you about and share. And if you're interested in seeing a little bit more about what I'm about to get into, do me a favor, stay tuned. Now, before we get too far, I would like to say thank you very much to Bestech Knives, who has provided me with this opportunity to work with them and help represent their company. Now, for somebody who's in the gear genre, that's a fairly big deal. You know, as I've moved forward, I've been just working hard and grinding and getting out there, going to the shows, filming a whole bunch, and putting out a ton of content. So at this point, to be recognized and to be able to help represent a wonderful knife company, that's a big deal. So thank you very much to the people at Bestech Knives. But for all of you, this is an opportunity for you to get a little bit behind the curtain, just a bit to see kind of what it's like. Now, there's only so much I'm going to be able to share with you, but the things that I think I'm going to let in on, you're going to enjoy. Now, Bestech Knives is a worldwide knife manufacturer. They're based out of China, and they are putting out some incredibly nice stuff. They are up there in terms of quality. So Bestech Knives has a couple of different lines and a couple of different price points. Now, Bestech at this current time has really what I'm going to say is three lines. Two major lines and then one that's emerging. So first is you have your BG series, which is sort of, and I don't even want to say budget. They're affordable, but they're not cheap knives. They're not made cheaply. They're still premium materials. I mean, this is a BG knife, and what you see here is nice carbon fiber, beautiful flipper, just a gorgeous sanded finish, just hand sanded satin finish. Just a beautiful, sleek looking knife, very nicely done. D2 tool steel, nice pivot collar, just gorgeous, beautiful knife. This one here is called the Ascot. But then you have their BT line. So the BT line typically being, I would say, your titanium, frame lock design. Everything's on ball bearings when you get into Bestech, so all ball bearing pivot assemblies. You end up with nice steel, so here S35VN, many of their models having actually M390, which is sweet. Anodized, just beautifully done, gorgeous finish, come with pouches. These knives are absolutely gorgeous, and if you look here, just really nice, smooth action, beautiful knives. So whether or not you get into the BG line being sort of that budget line, or the BT line being the premium, either way you go, gorgeous knives coming from Bestech. But you heard me say three lines and one's emerging. Well, here you have this little Heidi Blacksmith #1. This is a knife that I did a prior review on, and in fact, it's the way this entire thing came to be. This little knife has pretty much made the connection between me and Bestech, and so this has a little special place in my heart. But the reason why I say this is the very first fixed blade from Bestech. And just recently, they came out with a second. So here I have the Hedron, which is an O-stop-hell design. So this Hedron comes in a number of different finishes. This one having a beautiful brown micarta, nice Kydex, and D2 tool steel. So just a nice, comfortable little EDC knife, very nicely done, and a great design from O-stop-hell. But this is for another day. We will go into detail on this with a full feature review coming up in the future. Now, with that said, getting back to the service position. So again, I am the United States Territory Service and Warranty Representative. So when people like you and fans of Bestech Knives have an issue that needs to be dealt with, they come to me. Now, my current email is a Bestech email. So anytime you reach out to service_us@besttechknives.com, that comes to me, and I service the request. So everything from taking the request to helping to come up with a solution, that is my job. Now, not only is that my job, but I have other roles as well. And that's the thing, these companies that do not necessarily have a United States presence, they turn to other people to help provide them with the services on a local level. Now, for me personally, I'm running the United States territory. But for example, if you look at the European territory, well, they get the talented Kombu. Now, Kombu is a talented knife designer. He actually has been coming up with a ton of designs for Bestech Knives. So as you look through the Bestech Knives catalog, some of the most recent designs in their high-end lineup have come from Kombu. So it's great to have somebody like that in the industry on the other side of the line. We communicate, we talk, we go back and forth about ideas, we collaborate. It's an excellent opportunity, not just for Bestech, not just for me, but Kombu alike. And you take us and you put us as a team, well, we got some pretty cool stuff coming up I think you're going to enjoy. But what else is it about the Bestech service that I'm able to provide? Well, for example, different things like corresponding with other reviewers. So it's my job as the Bestech US representative to reach out to the US reviewers, find products for them to review, talk to them about their needs and upcoming programs that Bestech's going to run, make sure I get knives in the hands of the reviewers so that they can put out quality content. And so different groups like, for example, the Apex Pass Around, they have been a huge proponent for Bestech. So if you look at all the reviewers within the Apex Pass Around, there are an absolute ton. And you've probably watched many of their channels. And if you've ever wondered how they get knives in their hands, well, it's from representatives like myself, reaching out, talking to the reviewers, figuring out what their likes are, what their dislikes are, and what's going to jive. Let's be real, most of the time you pretty much want to see a good positive review. So we try to match a good quality knife to the user so they will enjoy the product. Bottom line is, yes, of course, a review needs to be accurate and it needs to be, I would say, authentic. That's a big part of my channel. So you're going to see that when I cover a Bestech product, it's not really so much going to be a review. It's going to be more of a product overview so that I can show off a product and you can see it. You can determine whether or not you like it. I'm just going to try to keep most of my opinion out of it. That's being real. I'm going to announce it ahead of time. You're going to know what standpoint I'm coming from. My reviews need to be authentic. And that's the case with all the other reviewers as well. So me, as the U.S. service representative, it's my job to try to find a knife that I think is going to be a good fit for the reviewer, make sure we get it in their hands so we get a good positive review. But if it's negative, it's negative. Let's be real, nothing's perfect. And that's also the case with the knives. Sometimes you cannot help the fact that there's a defect. It's just part of the process. And so that's where I come into play. Let's just say, for example, you had a problem with your knife. Well, this here is a live example of somebody that had a problem with their detent. If you look here, the knife basically is not locking up. Now, I did find that, unfortunately, there is a crack in the frame lock. At this point, I don't know how it happened. I can't really tell, but it seems a little bit strange to me. Maybe it was a manufacturing defect. Maybe the customer was just too hard with their knife. I can't really tell, but in this case, we made a judgment call, and based on this particular model and what we thought was the right thing to do, we made a warranty replacement. So it was my job to facilitate that and get a good quality replacement back in the hands of the customer. But I like to find creative ways to help people. You don't necessarily have to always send the knife directly to me. Maybe I can help you from a remote location. Here's an example. Hey, Zach, what's happening, man?
Trying to fix some sort of imbalance, it seems, with Bestech Goblin.
So you had a brand new Goblin. How long have you had it?
Maybe maybe 2 weeks. I've just been like everyone else in this time going crazy buying things online. So my collection went from like 15 to 25 to my wife's dismay.
Uh-huh.
She's
Yeah.
still going. But I've been looking at this thing since it came out and just sort of finally said, fuck it, I'm gonna get it. So
Oh, that's great, man. So yeah, good utility shape.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, nice fit and finish. You're happy with the fit and finish and everything?
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. Fits great in the hand. I mean, it's just a beautiful little knife. I was talking to my brother about it earlier. It's essentially a razor blade with a really well fitted, good looking handle.
Nice. Good. Well, so you've stumbled into a little problem. Now the knife came and it was in good quality condition.
Yep. Oh, perfect. Yeah, absolutely.
So fit and finish and the tolerances and the deployment and lockup and everything.
Beautiful. Yep. It was straight, came out like a rocket, went back in beautifully. Just like pretty much every knife I've ever gotten. When I get it, I like to take them apart, clean off whatever old oil, whatever lubricant they'd put on in the factory that's been sitting there forever, give everything a nice clean soap and water, wipe everything down, dry everything off, give everything a little 10 weight oil, put everything back together. I always make sure bearings are facing the right way and all this, all that. I've never run into this before, but I put her back together, and I'm sure you can't actually really tell there. Maybe you can. The blade is not even close to where it should be lying. Where it should be over here. It's actually over there.
Right.
It still comes out great. It still lines up nice. It is a little. There's a lot of play. Not a lot, but a lot more play than there should be when it is locked out now as well. I'm thinking it's something up here with the pivot itself that isn't actually going together properly.
Well, that could be the case. So what we're doing today, and for anybody who's watching this, we're going to go through the process. So, you know, right now, you have, a situation that we're trying to solve. I'm going to do my best to talk you through this, hopefully not have to have you, send in the knife. I mean, the last thing you want to do is ship things around, and let's see if we can come to terms with this. So the first thing, basic mechanics, in my opinion, I think we should take this thing completely apart, evaluate the parts, and then we'll work on putting it back together. So you have yourself a T6 Torx bit there?
Actually, I just have the 6, but that's all you actually need to get this apart?
Yeah, so the pivot screw I'm looking at here. So this model is the BT11.
Okay.
I have one of the pivot screws here to use as a reference. Mm-hmm. And the pivot screw on this particular knife actually has a slotted head.
Yep. You can actually take the pivot off. In another video I saw someone else just reviewing the Goblin with a dime or a penny.
Yep, there you go. So I think what we want to do is, let's remove the handle scales with that T6 and then also the pivot screw. We'll get it fully disassembled. That's a good place to start. Yep. Yeah, so while you're doing that, just to back up for a second, because, Bestech does use a number of different ways to put individual models together. So, a lot of them have the T8 on the pivot screw, this particular one having the slotted head. So it does vary from model to model.
One of the great things about the Bestech that I found with mine personally and that I saw online, once you do all you have to do is take out that pivot screw and the 2 screws in the scale on that same side, and it comes right apart very, very easily.
Did you have to remove your clip, or is the clip still fashioned to the scale?
The clip is still attached to the scale,
which is nice too.
Yep. So you've essentially got everything right there. Those are your 2 T6 screws there that are going to come out of your handle. There's your pivot screw there. 1 bearing. You are going to have a washer inside of each scale as well. Those are not very fun to get out, but they do come out. I did when I took it apart initially, took those out as well, just for that whole cleaning process.
Yeah. Now, when you took it apart, did you feel as though the knife was fairly clean to begin with?
Oh yeah. It's just I'm assuming it's for longevity, and just assuming that these knives are going to be sitting in boxes for a while when they leave the factory, because they always use a really thick, heavier grease than what I like to use for my personal choice. So I always take stuff apart and just clean all that gunk off, essentially, because you get a nice brand new knife. You want it to be sparkly and new. You don't want it to be black and gunky.
Yeah. Cool. All right, so let's look at the parts individually. First things first, as we flip back around here. All right. So let's inspect the quality of your bearings. I mean, all the balls are in the race.
Yep.
Okay, those look good. Yeah, no problem there.
Nope.
You have two washers.
Yep, the washers are. I can get them out if you'd like, but they're sitting right in there.
Okay, let's just go with that just to make sure that we don't have any problems with the machining on the scales.
Yep.
Which I wouldn't think so necessarily, just because at this point, the knife came in a good factory condition.
There you go. Yeah, washers are the most obnoxious part, but they're not that bad. So there's your washers there. They come right out of those holes there.
Yep. So as we look at the inside of the scale, that looks, yep, that's clean.
Over here, yeah.
Okay, yep, that all looks good. Now you can see there, if you look real quick, you are seeing the on the back side of the scale with the lock. You are seeing the screw coming through from the clip. Now that's not into any conflict, right?
You talking right here?
I can't see. Nope, that's your replaceable lock insert on the other end.
Oh, yes, no protrusion there.
Okay, so yeah, no protrusion, right?
Nope.
So we know that's not creating a conflict for you.
No.
Okay. All right, so the next thing is let's take a look at the other scale. Yeah. Let's look at the other one in detail.
So yeah, this is the carbon fiber. Get a nice look at that anyway, just because it's beautiful.
They do a real nice job.
There's not much sunlight, unfortunately, right now in Connecticut, but
yep, no worries, no worries.
A little peek at it because it's just gorgeous. It really is, and it like I said, it feels like a rock in your hand that doesn't weigh anything. It's amazing.
All right, so now moving forward, it looks like your scales are in good shape. I don't see any issues there. Let's take a look at the actual knife blade itself.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's usual. That mark there is just from the detent ball marking alongside the blade. So that sort of semicircle arc is normal.
Yep.
The machining, let's look at the actual pivot hole. That looks square, not square shape, but like, flush, I should say. Everything's machined well.
Yep. Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
Contoured properly.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I mean, so far I don't see anything that looks to be jumping out. So as we move forward, the main thing would be making sure that your standoffs, your back spacer, and your stop pin are all properly aligned as we start to reinstall everything.
Okay.
So those can all be fit onto the call it the show side of the blade, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, I do have my stop pin in on that side.
Obviously in the little recess for the pivot screw, it's going to be washer first. Yep.
So
that looks normal.
See how accurately we can do this. Yeah. So you put your washer goes in first.
Yeah. What I would suggest is so on your clip side, maybe you can put your pivot screw through. Yeah. Your main pivot screw is going through the show side, so the carbon fiber side.
Yep.
So let's start there. We'll slide that through. Slide the pivot screw through the carbon fiber side. That'll allow you to get your washer in and your bearings. Now for the bearings, I believe it would be the open side of the race to the outside.
Yes.
You're going to have the enclosed race towards the blade.
Yep.
So first washer, then the bearing, open side facing out.
Yep.
Okay. You can drop.
Always do a little oil in the bearings.
Nice. Yep. What do you use?
I use Sentry. Sentry.
Yeah, that little drop.
Tough glide, just a dry lubricant protectant.
Yep.
Kind of see there. So then your blade would go back on. In theory.
Now I'm looking at this pivot screw. Some of the ones that Bestech uses are almost like a D shape, so that they only really fit in one direction. That prevents it from spinning.
That was one of the confusing pieces. Is this the pivot post itself does have a flat edge?
Okay, let's look carefully at the scales.
Okay.
And I was wondering about that. So let's look really, really careful, because one scale might have.
I got it.
Right?
Yep.
So it does have a subtle D in there, right?
Yep.
I bet you that was your problem.
I bet you it was too. I bet you that was it.
So you got to be careful and set that up so that the flat part of the D is in the right location.
Absolutely.
Okay. And as you sandwich the two together, you should be good.
All right, let's have a go at this.
That little tricky part about sliding it all together and then not letting the blade slide into your hands, you know?
Yeah. Oh, I took
So on top of the blade, you put your bearing again, race side with the open face towards the scale, and then your washer. I like that little precision lubricant there.
Not bad, huh?
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Amazon, $12, I think. Not even. So we feel like we're in there.
I would say before you monkey around with trying to deploy it, just commit to putting in the slotted pivot screw and start to sandwich this thing together. Because it's real easy for the tolerances now just to slip apart while you're monkeying around. You know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely. The stubby finger syndrome, of course.
Isn't it brutal, man? I'm always dealing with these tiny little screws.
It's great for bar chords on a guitar, but with tiny little screws, it sucks.
Uh-huh.
And I am cheating. I'm using a real screwdriver, not a quarter or a dime or a penny. Even though it does work, I did try it.
Nice.
All right, so we got that pivot screw back in. I'm not going to put too much tension on it.
Yeah.
Should I throw the other screws back in before?
It's not going to hurt. Just go easy. You know what I mean? Don't over torque them.
Yeah.
That's the other thing is I found that Bestech does not ship their knives with any super heavy duty Loctite, so it's fairly easy to get your knife apart and service it.
Which is nice.
I kind of prefer that personally.
You do. You don't want to feel like you're going to break something the second you got it, which I honestly did not. Like I said, over and over, this thing is just feels so solid. All right, so everything is loosely back together.
Yep.
Moment of truth.
Sure.
Perfectly centered.
You feel better?
Perfectly centered.
Nice.
No give in the blade. Locked. No give. None. Perfect.
Nice.
Sir,
so you can snug everything up, man.
Oh, it's perfect.
All right, so I think your problem was that the D on the pivot screw was spun maybe crooked, you know?
Absolutely.
So that didn't allow the scale to sit down as tight and as flush as it otherwise would, opening up the gap in the front end and therefore losing your tolerances.
Absolutely.
Nice.
And there she is.
That's awesome.
Boys and girls, Bestech Goblin, hands down, in my opinion, the best $150 everyday carry you can get. Also, if you need help, go to Eric, because Eric's fucking awesome, guys.
Nice, dude. Well, hey, that certainly does better than having to send the damn thing into me.
Infinitely better. Well, I wouldn't mind sending it to you so much. It's a massive company because you never know what the hell they're going to do. But yes, this is definitely better than dealing with packages and mailing and all that nonsense.
Yep. And within about 24 hours, you're back up and running.
Not even, I don't think.
Nice.
Not even.
Good.
That was great, dude. Thank you so much.
Hey, you're welcome. And enjoy that knife, man. It's beautiful.
Thank you, Ron.
So, all right. Appreciate the support. And
man. Yeah. Of course.
Glad to be able to solve your little problems.
Couldn't have been happier. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Yeah. Have yourself a great day.
All right, man. You too.
Thanks.
So as you can see, you don't always need to send in a knife to get good quality help. And in this case, it worked out perfectly fine. So what other kinds of service does a knife representative do? Well, for me being the service representative, I am helping Bestech with different service and logistics. So very simple thing, for example, helping with shipping, managing packages and things that need to go throughout the globe, not just in the US, but other locations. I was involved recently in actually obtaining the booth for SHOT Show 2021. So that's another function, working with the vendors, working with the different venues where the knife shows happen to make sure that all the logistics are in place. So it's taken a lot of work to get to the point where I can even play with some knives and get a good feel for them, start to understand them. At this point, I've gone through the entire catalog, started to commit it to memory and understand all the nuances about each and every one of the Bestech models, but I've also gotten completely up to speed with all of the parts. So I have made a very complete and detailed parts inventory for all the parts associated with every single model. So individually separating all the little parts and pieces, making a complete count, and I have built an extremely robust and detailed database. So at this point, I maintain a complete database of not only just the parts that I have here on hand to service the knives, but I also have a complete and detailed inventory of all the knives that I maintain on hand to ensure I'm capable of servicing people's needs. So anytime they have a warranty claim, I do have knives on hand to be able to swap them out if there's problems. So everything from the BG line, the budget line, even though they're certainly not budget by any means, and that BT premium line. So a mix of knives, a bunch of different things that I can use to help people with their warranty claims. I can give away knives for giveaways. I have enough to give to pass arounds and get reviews. So a good mix of blades on hand at all times. And so here I have some cool Bestech swag going to Smoky Mountain Knife Works, as well as one of their Bobcat models, so the Bestech Bobcat model. Again, going to Smoky Mountain Knife Works. These are going for the 2020 Knife Day giveaway. So annual Knife Day giveaway from Smoky Mountain Knife Works. So again, just, you know, that same sort of typical type of service that the service representative might get involved with. So at this point, you probably realize I'm one of those detail-oriented type of guys. Well, when that's the case, I'm looking for detail-oriented fans. So anybody who's been watching my channel for a long time, if you're one of those people that just watch all my videos and you stick through them from beginning to end, well, some of you are starting to get rewarded. So in one of my recent videos, I happened to post the fact that I was giving away a Bestech Eye of Ra. Now, that was really one of the first times I've had an opportunity to give away a knife in the Bestech giveaway. So it was a very detailed contest where the viewer had to watch the entire video and come up with timestamps for when they saw the Eye of Ra photographs. And the winner of that was Frickin-tastic, which is awesome. Frickin-tastic is one of those viewers that's been with me for a real long time. He's commented on hundreds of my videos. He's been around since pretty much the beginning. So to have one of my longtime viewers actually win the contest was definitely sweet. And so now, moving forward, I will be doing a lot more filming of Bestech products. So the question is, moving forward, well, what's in store for Bestech? What's the next move? What are we going to see coming up? Well, again, some of that I cannot necessarily divulge at this time. However, I can tell you there's some really great stuff coming. And for me, in terms of providing service, one of the things I'm really going to start to get into is heavy-duty sharpening. So really coming up to speed with fine-tuning my sharpening skills. So here you'll see I have a Wicked Edge sharpener ready to go, number of different stones, getting some good practice under my belt so I can do some good quality precision sharpening so that when people send in their knives for service, if they so choose, I can send them back with, well, a Wicked Edge. And so that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Eric Outer from Outer Limitless is the Bestech Knives US service representative. So again, I'd like to say thank you very much to the people at Bestech for this opportunity. I look forward to continuing to provide high quality service. And quite frankly, I really do want to be known for one of the best in the industry. Everything I do, I try to do a very good job. This is absolutely the case here, where service can really make or break somebody's experience. Again, let's be real, things aren't always perfect. Sometimes there's problems. So for all of you watching, if you're a Bestech fan and you have problems with your Bestech knife, by all means, reach out to me. Or if you just want to have some fun and talk blades, I am definitely down with that too. So reach out at service_US@besttechknives.com. So all right guys, there you have it, a look behind the scenes. I hope you enjoyed that. Much more to come, not just from Outer Limitless, but Bestech Knives as well. As I mentioned, some really cool and exciting things coming up. I think you are very much going to like it. So all right guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.